Got some new stand-up dates I'm excited to tell you all about. On June 19th, I will be at Vernon Speakeasy. The 21st, I will be at Turtle Mountain Brewing. On the 27th, I will be at Unhinged Brewing. On July 2nd, I will be at Berman and Boots. On July 5th, I will be finally returning to Quezada's Comedy Club and Cantina for the Comedy Battle. On July 11th, I will be in Santa Fe at the Kava Bar. And on July 17th, I will be at Sushi High in Denver, Colorado. All information for these will be on my Instagram. Hope to see you at a show. All right, what's going on, everybody? I'm still working on that audio. What's up? Good to see you guys. You know what? Welcome back to the podcast. I'm trying to be more professional. Maybe. I don't know. Trying to be a little professional. My name's Noah Vargas. I'm the host of the podcast. Thank you for coming back. Where do we even start? Where do we even start? Y'all see the title. Let's get a couple of housekeeping things out of the way. Only a couple more of those stand-up dates are going to be relevant. Obviously, this upcoming Saturday, I'll be up in Santa Fe at the Kava Bar doing a set there for Night School, I believe is what they're calling it. Shout out to TJ for putting me on that show. And then next week is Denver. One night, I will be up in Denver doing a set at Sushi High. It'll be Thursday at like 7:30ish. It'll be a lot of fun. I'm very much looking forward to it. I was going to try to get more shows out in Denver. Like, I got some pretty decent contacts out there, but quite frankly, your boy does not have the money to be spending on hotel rooms out there. So just doing one night out in Denver. Very excited. Got a good show planned for you guys. I was gonna do this Saturday night, and admittedly, I was gonna do this Saturday night, but I just got way too tired after the comedy battle. And I just came home and ate food and crashed the hell out. All right, so we're gonna talk some old Jeff. We're gonna talk some old Jeffrey Epstein. Then we're gonna talk about the Quezada's battle. Then I'm gonna end it with this stack of movies over here. These two stacks of movies. It's gotta end on something light, end on something dorky. So I'm here to officially come out and give my support for the Trump administration, and I'm here to give my support for Kash Patel and Pam Bondi, Dan Bongino, Ghislaine Maxwell, because honestly, I thought it was pretty foolish to even believe in the first place that there was a client list. Obviously, that never existed, despite what the AG might have said a couple months ago. Obviously, that never existed. Honestly, I'm not even convinced that Jeffrey Epstein even human trafficked. I'm not convinced. Maybe he got into traffic getting to the humans that only he touched. But I don't think Jeffrey Epstein trafficked anyone. I think it was all a hoax. P. Diddy is innocent. God, what other stupid shit can I say about this so I can sound just as stupid as the Trump administration right now? Because, I think we're past the time at this point. I don't know if I can say the fuck word yet. But, like, come on. You know what I mean? So let's take this beat by beat. Obviously, if you've clicked on this video, you obviously know what's been going on by now. You've heard about it. You've read something about it. So it has come out today that the FBI and the DOJ, they did is was supposedly a very comprehensive investigation into Jeffrey Epstein, and they have come to the conclusion that they are, there is no client list. It never existed. And where this originally broke from Axios, I have the Axios document pulled up on another screen. We're gonna go through that. Not to beat a dead horse, What's up, Springer? About as gay as you are. Not to beat a dead horse, but it's just like, I think in all of the conspiracy madness and in all of the conversation around this, I think the craziness of the actual situation and what it is has kind of gotten lost. So let's start again. I'm not the most well read on this. I just know the basics, and I know what I feel is most important to the layman individual, because this is the shit that kind of gets my blood boiling. And I think this is a really good litmus test, and we'll get into my theory a little bit later about where the Republican Party stands right now. But anyway, so allegedly, well, we know there's an island, but allegedly, on this island, Jeffrey Epstein, in assistance with Ghislaine Maxwell, had a global human trafficking syndicate, organization, apparatus, however you want to describe it, where the most powerful individuals in not just the American government, but world governments, to include celebrities and whatever, but world leaders at a bare minimum knew about it, but were involved, participated, potentially funded a human trafficking apparatus that specifically dealt in children. And on this private island, they would fly on, I'm sure there were many Epstein planes, land on the island, and either unknowingly or knowingly had sex with minors. It got filmed, and then potentially, allegedly, was used against them as blackmail so that they could do the bidding of the deep state, whatever the deep state was. This is potentially what this... It sounds like something out of a Bond movie. A global sex trafficking operation that dealt specifically in minors, the world's most powerful elite, specifically politicians, but celebrities, politicians, bankers, intelligence agencies, people that run the world, the non-elected individuals that run the world were involved and participated and funded this apparatus. And they filmed these powerful people having sex with minors to use them as blackmail. That's what we're talking about here. Ghislaine Maxwell gets arrested for aiding and abetting in the sex trafficking. But nobody else gets arrested with her. Not the clients, meaning the people who were participating, purchasing, right, participating in this. None of them get arrested. Jeffrey Epstein is in prison by this point. I think he might have been dead by this point at the time that she got arrested, or that she got convicted actually of it. I have to check the dates. But then, as Jeffrey Epstein is in prison, in a maximum security prison, he has a second suicide attempt. Now that's also going under the assumption that his first suicide attempt was legit. So let's just count that as that's a gimme for them. Let's say he actually tried to kill himself. He is in one of the most locked down prisons in the world on suicide watch. And actually, no, I don't want to kind of gloss over the first suicide attempt. Now, someone who's listening to this, if you're listening right now, you can fact check me. If you're listening to this later, please fact check me. But I believe when he was in prison the first time, he was in prison, like his cellmate was this like ex-Marine or like ex-cop, super jacked dude that was in prison for life for murder. And there's like some allegations that maybe he tried to kill him or he was put in there to kill him so that he wouldn't squeal on anybody. Anyway, the second time he's in prison, he is in maximum security on suicide watch, 24-hour guard, video surveillance. And all of a sudden, during the time that he killed himself, the guards fell asleep, the security cameras went down, and Jeffrey Epstein killed himself. That's what we're talking about here. Okay. Now, let's flash forward to... I'm trying to think like when the Trump administration really started like talking about this on the campaign. I know they were talking about it in September. So let's just say September. They're really talking about this. About how if they get in, that Trump's gonna do what he said he was gonna do the first time, that he was going to, drain the swamp, he was gonna expose and dismantle the deep state, and that he was building this coalition around him that was gonna help him do that. This was RFK, Elon Musk, Tulsi Gabbard, Kash Patel was in the way. I think by September, Kash Patel was actually going around and campaigning with him. Kash Patel was with him. And this was going to be it. We were going to get the Epstein list. We were going to get an investigation. We were going to get this comprehensive thing that was going to show what was going on. Who was on the client list, right? Who on the flight logs? If you guys remember, the flight logs came out years ago. We know who's on. That's A-list celebrities. Trump was on it a bunch. Clinton was on it a bunch. Both of the Clintons were on it a bunch. Bunch of fucking famous people that I like fucking Affleck was on there. Seth Green was on there. Eminem was on there. I think Beyonce was on there or some shit. A bunch of wild shit. Anyway. So we're going to get a comprehensive list of this and what was going on and get it all investigated. Trump gets elected. He gets inaugurated. Kash Patel is the FBI director. Dan Bongino is right under him. And these are guys, and I'm not going to bring it up because you can go look it up yourselves. I mean, Kash Patel wrote a whole book about the deep state. Him and Dan Bongino are on podcasts talking about how corrupt the deep state is, about how Epstein didn't kill himself, about how there's this whole thing that I just described is real and it's happening. Alex Jones. God bless Alex. Has somebody checked in on Alex Jones after this? Because this news broke last night. Because this guy's been talking about it for the better part of 20 years. I think longer than 20 years. He's been talking about this. Has anybody checked up on Alex Jones? Anyway, so a couple months into the administration this year, you can go find this too. Pam Bondi is saying that the Epstein client list, not just the flight logs, the client list, and tens of thousands of pages of documents are sitting on her desk waiting to get reviewed, meaning they have a compiled list. She has said this on camera. 2 reporters on Fox News that there is a list of individuals that financially participated in this sex trafficking ring that specialized in children. There is a list of these people, and they are ready to investigate and bring criminal charges. Okay? Then, Jesus Christ. Then they go on to say that they have tens of thousands of documents they're going through, that there are videos and videos and videos of these people committing crimes. And I think at one point, because I have a video of the White House press secretary that we're going to listen to, but before that, I think they actually name it as child pornography, that they're having to go through and watch, which I don't envy that position at all. Nobody should have to be subjected to see that. But nature of the beast, I suppose, of these people having sex and raping minors. They have this on video. And we knew before all of this that the Epstein Island was littered with cameras. Anyway, so then they released like that first round of documents where like a bunch of shit was redacted. And, like, there's a bunch of things that were redacted in there, but, like, the surrounding context kind of alluded. And actually, I think it said, like, intelligence agencies were involved because there's all these conspiracies about how Epstein might have been a Mossad agent working under the Israelis to help compromise Americans. Nobody knows about where that guy got his money from anyway. Like, I was listening to an episode of Candace Owens earlier tonight because I just want to she did an episode on Epstein. I want to get a little bit of a refresher. And his like backstory is real weird. Like he had he like he was going to college. I forget what college it was, but he was going to college to get this math degree. He drops out. He becomes a math teacher at like 21 years old or some shit, and then he ends up getting he was this big financier after that, but nobody knows where he got his money from, and then he just gets connected with it. Nobody knows, but that's the moral of the story, that nobody knows where he got his money from. But then he gets involved with all of this. So then we flash forward to the Trump Elon Musk blow up, where Elon is straight up saying that, hey, you know, they're not going to release all the Epstein stuff because Trump is on it, implicating Trump as a pedophile. Then he redacted those statements that he went too far. But, I mean, if that's true, who the fuck knows? I mean, if he's a fucking... Personally, I mean, obviously we know that Trump was friends with Epstein. We know that he was friends with Ghislaine Maxwell. We know that. And I'm not going to sit here and say that Trump didn't know what was going on. I bet he did, which I don't think is a good thing at all, and I'm not excusing that at all. But they all knew about it. That doesn't make it any better, but they all knew about it. Do I think Trump participated? Do I think he actually fucked a kid? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't get the vibe from him that I don't think he did that. But guess what? If he did, throw him in a fucking dungeon. You know what I mean? Bury him under the prison, along with the rest of them. Bury them all. Fuck them. So then we get to last night. And I try to save all of these articles and these updates as I get them so that I can recall them back on these podcasts. So last night at about 7:30, 8 o'clock New Mexico time, it comes out that, let me see if I can find the first one. Yeah, so about 24 hours ago, it's 8 o'clock New Mexico time right now. So DOJ memo claims there's no evidence Epstein blackmailed powerful individuals or had a, quote, client list, maintains he committed suicide in a New York City jail. So... And then we'll go over, I have the Axios list thing pulled up. And they released, I'll knock the easy one out of the way. So they released, this memo came out through Axios, so they got a hold of it first, I think. And then there was this video that was released, and it's this like 10-hour video during the window of time that they're claiming that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself in. And it's just, and that's what it's showing. I don't know if y'all can see that. It's just can you see that? Like, it's just the cell. And my whole thing is like, but I thought the first story was that the cameras went down and the security guards were asleep. So how is that incriminating, or not incriminating, how is that like the bombshell video that goes, oh, no, he didn't kill him. I'm sorry, he killed himself. He didn't get murdered. He killed himself. He killed himself. Look, there's proof. There's proof. Like, how is that proof? So the U.S. Department of Justice has now released an approximately 11 hours security camera footage from outside the cell of convicted sex offender and disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in New York City on the night of his death from 7:40 p.m. on August 9th, 2019 to 6:40 a.m. on August 10th, 2019. The footage appears to show no one entering and exiting the cell during the time it was believed that Epstein committed suicide by hanging himself from his top bunk, according to the DOJ and the FBI. But again, if the initial story is that the cameras went down, then how does camera footage prove anything else? Then you're lying about the time that he killed himself. Like, am I wrong about? I don't know. Am I call me crazy? Call me crazy, but that doesn't make any fucking sense to me. That doesn't make any sense. Okay. So, where is... Okay. So here's the video. This is from this morning of them asking the White House press secretary about the memo. All right, here's the video.
The DOJ and FBI have now concluded there was no Jeffrey Epstein client list. What do you tell MAGA supporters who say they want anyone involved in Jeffrey Epstein's alleged crimes to be held accountable?
This administration wants anyone who has ever committed a crime to be held accountable, and I would argue this administration has done more to lock up bad guys than certainly the previous administration. And the Trump administration is committed to truth and to transparency. That's why the Attorney General and the FBI Director pledged at the President's direction to do an exhaustive review of all of the files related to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes and his death, and they put out a memo in conclusion of that review. There was material they did not release because, frankly, it was incredibly graphic and it contained child pornography, which is not something that's appropriate for public consumption. But they committed to an exhaustive investigation. That's what they did, and they provided the results of that. That's transparency.
Oh,
Sure.
Caroline. Okay, so the FBI looks at the circumstances surrounding the death of Jeffrey Epstein. According to the report, this systematic review revealed no incriminating client list. So what happened to the Epstein client list that the Attorney General said she had on her desk?
Well, I think if you go back and look at what the Attorney General said in that interview, which was on your network on Fox
I've
News.
got the quote.
Go ahead.
John Roberts said, DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen? And she said, it's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Yes, she was saying the entirety of all of the paperwork, all of the paper in relation to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. That's what the Attorney General was referring to, and I'll let her speak for that. But again, when it comes to the FBI and the Department of Justice, they are more than committed to ensuring that bad people are put behind bars.
They think you're stupid. Like, this is... They think you're stupid. They think we're all stupid. Like, you don't even have to be a conspiracy nut to come to this conclusion. You can pull anybody. You could go to the most remote parts of America and just say, hey, man, here's the evidence. Does this all make sense to you? Nobody's going to think this makes sense. There's no way. They think you're stupid. And, okay, so before I get into my extrapolations of how I think this affects the Republican Party moving forward, we're going to go over the document from that Axios got. That was the memo from the DOJ and the FBI. So let's take a look here. I'm going to make sure it covers the whole screen so y'all can see this. Okay. So as you can see at the very top, U.S. Department of Justice, Federal Bureau of Investigation. As a part of our commitment to transparency, the DOJ and the FBI have conducted an exhaustive review of investigative holdings related to Jeffrey Epstein. To ensure the review was thorough, the FBI conducted digital service of its databases, hard drives, and network drives, as well as physical searches of squad areas, locked cabinets, desks, closets, and other areas responsible material may have been stored. These searches uncovered a significant amount of material, more than 300 gigabytes of data and physical evidence. The files related to Jeffrey Epstein include a large volumes of Epstein images and videos of victims who are either minors or appear to be minors, and tens of thousands downloaded videos and images of illegal child sex abuse material and other pornography. Teams of agents, analysts, attorneys, privacy, and civil liberties experts comb through the digital documentary evidence with the aim of providing as much information as possible to the public while simultaneously protecting victims. Much of the material is subject to court-ordered sealing. Only a fraction of this material has been aired publicly had Epstein gone to trial, as the seal served to protect victims and did not want to expose any third parties to allegations of illegal wrongdoing. Through this review, we found no basis to revisit the disclosure of those materials and will not permit the release of child pornography. Okay, let's pause there. Okay, let's pause there really quick, because there actually is a bit in there that I agree with. Okay, yes, child pornography should not be released to the public. I think that's a no-brainer. I think anybody who disagrees with that's a fucking sicko. But obviously that's a no-brainer. So you mean to tell me, you mean to tell the American public that you combed through 300 gigs? First of all, 300 gigs sounds like a small amount. I'm just going to be perfectly honest. The reason I say that is in my own experience of filming on a regular basis. If I film a 2-hour podcast, native, now granted this is in 4K, but whatever, those native files from a 2-hour episode off of one camera is more or less 50 to 60 gigs, I'd say. Once I start getting into like the 3.5 hour, 4 hour podcasts that I've done in the past, those kick up to about 70 to 90 gigs. You see what I'm saying here? Like, it's not a, like, I would have thought there would be like terabytes of data. So that's the first thing. But you mean to tell me that they poured through hundreds of gigabytes of data, and the only person committing crimes, these heinous, horrific, demonic acts, was Jeffrey Epstein? Not even Ghislaine Maxwell. Like, she's in prison. You could totally throw her under the bus too. But my question is, okay, you're telling me that Jeffrey Epstein, you're calling him a sex trafficker. Look, I'm not a legal scholar. I'm not a lawyer, but I don't think you can traffic to yourself. You see what I'm saying here? He's the only one committing crimes. This was a self-funded project, a self-ran project. Nobody else was involved. That makes zero fucking sense to me. You're telling me he was on that island alone? I mean, call me crazy, but that makes no sense. Right? That makes no sense. Okay. The systematic review revealed no incriminating client list, quote, client list. There were also no credible evidence found that Jeffrey Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals as a part of his actions. We did not uncover evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties. Consistent with prior disclosures, this review confirmed that Epstein harmed over 1,000 victims. Each suffered unique trauma. Sensitive information relating to these victims is intertwined throughout these materials. This includes specific details, okay? One of our highest priorities is combating child exploitation. Perpetuating unfound theories about Epstein serves none of those ends. I'll read that last part again. Our highest priority is combating child exploitation and bringing justice to victims. Perpetuating unfounded theories about Epstein serves none of those ends. They're telling you guys, they're calling you conspiracy nuts. They're saying, fuck you. None of the people you saw in those flight logs, none of these powerful friends of Jeffrey Epstein are a part of this. It's only one guy who happens to be dead. To that end, while we have labored to provide the public with maximum information regarding Epstein and ensured examination of any evidence in the government's possession, it is the determination of the DOJ and the FBI that no further disclosure would be appropriate or warranted. Okay, after thorough investigation, FBI investigators concluded that Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide in his cell in the Metropolitan Correction Center in New York City on August 10th, 2019. This conclusion is consistent with previous findings, including the August 19th, 2019 autopsy, findings of the New York City office and the chief medical examiner. November of 2019 position of the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York in connection with the investigation of federal correctional officers responsible for guarding Epstein, who fell asleep, by the way. And in the 2013 June 2023 conclusions of the DOJ's Office of the Inspector General. The conclusion that Epstein died by suicide is further supported by video footage from the common area of the special unit housing where Epstein was housed at the time of his death. As DOJ's Inspector General explained in 2023, anyone entering or attempting to enter the tier where Epstein's cell was located from the SHU common area would have been captured by this footage. The FBI's independent review of this footage confirmed that from the time Epstein was locked in his cell from 10:40 p.m. on August 9th, 2019 till around 6:30 a.m. the next morning, nobody entered any tiers of the SHU. During this review, the FBI enhanced the relevant footage, increasing its contrast, balancing the cover, providing sharpness, blah, 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 blah. Watch the video, like, and subscribe. Basically, what this whole memo is telling me is that they've been listening to public discourse. They've watched Joe Rogan a little bit. They've watched Alex Jones, all these guys. And they're basically saying, okay, we're going to hit the major bullet points, which is the client list, the sex trafficking, and the suicide. And we're basically going to say all of that was wrong. It doesn't make any sense. It makes zero sense. When the investigation initially in 2019 officially said that the security camera footage went down, that's inconsistent. That the guards fell asleep, that's inconsistent. But now they're completely changing their tune. And I can't help but imagine it's because that Trump is in office. Now, I don't think we would have gotten anything better from the Democrats either, because this is the equivalent of like mutually assured destruction with nuclear bombs, right? It was like, well, if you expose us, we're gonna expose you, and then we all go down. We wouldn't have gotten any better from the Democrats. But this is the bullshit brigade. Come on. And then when you have, everyone's clowned on him, so I'm not going to go too hard because everyone else has already done it. But when you have Kash Patel going on Joe Rogan saying, trust me, bro. Don't you think that if I had people on camera saying or committing all these crimes, don't you think that I wouldn't have given that to you, Joe Rogan? No, I don't know, dude. Fucking keep that same energy you've been having since before you got into the position of power in which a year ago you were saying was deeply corrupted. I don't know. Keep that fucking energy. Then maybe we trust you, or at least come back with better evidence than trust me, bro. This is the same bullshit during COVID as trust the science. This is the same thing. It's the same thing. The last thing I'm going to say about this. So, where does the Republican Party go from here? Because, look, this may be a stretch. Feel free to tell me I'm wrong. But I would have to imagine that this is the same. Obviously the degrees of severity are different, but the ways in which they're covering up, this is the same emperor's not wearing any clothes for the Republicans as when the Democrats and the media establishment and the Biden administration, the last 4 years of his presidency, were all saying that he's sharp as a tack. He's never been smarter. He's, when his mental health was clearly declining, when he was clearly going through dementia. And now we know he has severe bone cancer, or cancer that's moved to his bones. That shit doesn't just happen overnight. It had been happening. We saw that in the 2020 debates, and then we really saw that in that fateful 2024 debate. This is the same thing, but for the Republicans. And Trump, and look, this Trump administration has not been going well. Excuse me. It has not been going well. And, I want to harken back to that episode that I did in November when I said why I voted for Trump. And I said at the end, I'd hold him accountable, and a bunch of my friends that did not agree with me voting for Trump didn't like that. Oh, we might have some tech issues. Give me a second. I don't know how to fix this issue. Hey, tell me in the chat. I'm getting a weird notification from my my streaming software. Let me know if my streaming's fucked up. It says to me right now that I've got 6 people watching the live stream. Are you guys getting good video? I'll drop a message in the chat. I think I'm getting good video. It looks to me like it's good. Okay, that's weird. Yeah, drop a thing in the chat if you're experiencing any kind of issues. Awkward, this is when it's happening, right? All right, anyway. But this is the same thing. And look, and like I was saying in that video, and a lot of people obviously didn't like me for the fact that I voted for Trump. A lot of people didn't agree with it, and that's fine. I mean, that's a part of America. But, oh, there we go. We're back to normal. Okay. But, you know, a lot of people didn't like that. But this is me holding him accountable. Like, look, this is not going well. And the fact that fucking Caroline, I think her name's Caroline Levitt, that she wanted to hearken on, oh, I think this administration has done the most that any other administration has done, certainly more than the last administration, of locking up criminals. I'm not going to do, maybe I will do an episode down the line about immigration. I just want to learn about it more. But at least for what I'm seeing about immigration, look, the border, they've knocked it out of the park. 9 out of 10, you shut down the border, you're doing great. Whatever. Yeah, I'm working on the audio. Sorry about that, Cardo. I was trying to get that to be better. But I think it's like a computer thing. I'm not too sure. But they've knocked border crossings out of the park. Like, they've gone like 95%. But you are not, and maybe if I turn down my audio a little bit because I'm fucking yelling. All right, maybe that sounds better. But you're not just deporting criminals. Like, yes, if you come across the country illegally, you've committed a crime. Yes, I understand that. Semantics. I get it. That is a crime. But they're also getting away people that are non-violent illegal immigrants. You know what I mean? So, like, anyway, they're not doing all that great. They bombed Iran. I don't agree with that. Also, Tucker Carlson just put out a really great interview that he did with the president of Iran. Go watch that. But this administration is not going well, in my opinion. That big, beautiful bill that just passed, no fucking bueno, ladies and gentlemen. No bueno. So, anyway. All right. Your mom goes to college, Springer. All right. But this is really like, this is their moment. Like, they're already fracturing their coalition a ton. Elon's trying to start a new party. I don't know how that's going to work out. Probably not well. But they're already fracturing their party a bunch. And now they're doing this nonsense where they're basically telling all their people, hey, thanks for the votes. Go fuck yourself. That's what they're telling us. Thank you for voting. We're going to do nothing that we said we were going to do. Enjoy the extra 20 trillion in the deficit. Enjoy the extra 10 trillion in the debt. Go fuck yourself. We're going to bomb Iran. We're going to lie about Epstein. I'm sure they let Diddy off. Like, at this point, there is no criminal justice system in our country. I'm sorry. Like, this is the most blatant form of lying and corruption and scheming. And this is anybody, and I'm sure, I haven't seen it personally, but I'm sure there are MAGA diehards that are defending this somehow. I don't know how you can defend it, but I'm sure they're out there. And I just don't get it. I really don't get it. All right. That's it for the Epstein stuff. I'm going to play the ad, and then we're going to talk some comedy and movies. We're going to get the fuck out of here so I can eat some dinner. How's that sound? This episode of the podcast is brought to you by the amazing people over at Chopped Chili. Guys, this is personally my favorite chili brand here in the state of New Mexico, and you can find them online at choppedchilico.com. You can also find them all across the state of New Mexico at Sprouts, Albertsons, Smith's, and a bunch of other stores in Albuquerque, Santa Fe, Las Cruces. I believe they're even down in El Paso now. They sell red and green chili, of course. My personal favorite is this blend of red and green, and they also sell online frozen bags of green chili. So again, go to choppedchilico.com to get yourself some amazing chili today. Now back to the podcast. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by the amazing people over at Chopped Chili. Guys, this is personally my favorite chili brand here in the state of New Mexico, and you can find them online at choppedchilico.com. You can also find them all across the state of New Mexico at Sprouts, Albertsons, Okay. Hopefully I fixed. Oh. Okay. Hopefully I fixed the audio issues. We'll see. Again, one-man show, so we'll see. All right. So let's discuss some comedy. Let's discuss some comedy here. So this. I don't know why it's echoing. That's so strange. I'll work on that. I don't know what that issue is. Okay, so the comedy battle at Quezada's was this past weekend. Didn't do as well as I would have liked to. But you know, it's a crowd. How do you say it? Like a crowd deciding, crowd participation thing. They liked my opponent better. Shit happens. What are you gonna fucking do? Was I happy about it? Fuck no, I wasn't happy about it because I fucking crushed that 2 minutes. Yeah, I thought I fucking did well. My buddies thought I did well, and really that's all I really cared about. I had a bunch of friends come out. If you're watching this and you came to the show, thank you very much. That really does mean the world to me. Yeah, you know, shit happens. What are you gonna do? Pick up the pieces and move on, huh? Hopefully, I'm gonna be back in a couple of months to Quezada's. Such a fun room. I love doing it. Yeah. Big shout out to Josh Fournier and Jake Otero. Yeah, I totally did, Springer. Yeah, I got hooked like a motherfucker. It happens. What are you gonna do? But Josh Fournier, Jake Otero. Jake won the first night. Josh won the second night. Totally deserving. They smacked it out of the fucking park. Josh Fournier leveled in ways I've never seen him kill that hard in like a club like that. Like he does really well. Obviously, for me, he's the best comedian in the city. But he fucking destroyed. So big props to him. Big props to Jake. They well earned that $1,000. Great fucking time. All right, let's talk some nerdy shit, huh? I'm gonna lose all these fucking viewers, but who cares? All right. So, if you know me, if you've been my friend, if you've come and done the podcast, you know I'm a huge dork, and a part of being a huge dork is I love collecting physical media. I love collecting physical media. I think it's really important to, and I just love seeing them on the shelf and all that stuff. So and I love collecting movies along with comic books. And there is a brand of movie, like a distribution company called the Criterion Collection. And basically what they do, it's like their own version of the Oscars, where they pick very important films, not just from America, but around the world, that are like, people need to see this fucking movie. I'm not going to say it's a perfect selection, and I'll go over a few that I picked that I didn't really enjoy. That I kind of feel like, that's $20 down the drain. But I love collecting the Criterion Collection. I think the spines look amazing. I'm going to try to position it to where you can see the spines. All of them anyway. So this is my entire Criterion Collection right now. So you can see all that. And what's cool is on the spines, they have like the numbers in which they were added to the collection. So they're not in alphabetical order, but they look dope on a shelf. And every year, I think twice a year, they do a huge sale because these are not fucking cheap. Like, so I just got this a couple days ago. Seven Samurai. I haven't seen it yet, but I just hear how amazing it is. I know I need to watch it. The 4K version comes with a 4K Blu-ray, but I love buying these because they are they have a lot of special features. I love watching special features on DVDs and Blu-rays and 4Ks. And they have special features that are exclusive to the collection, so I love watching how they make them and the interviews and all that stuff. I'm interested to see what they have for this. But this is $50. But they run a sale every year where it's all half off. So I got it for $25, and a $25 Blu-ray is a fucking great deal. I really do love collecting these, and I'm going to go over a few that really stood out to me. Well, actually, I'm going to go over a few that I bought this year for the sale. So, let's see. I bought this guy. I got this guy. And then, let's see. I got that one. And... No. Yep. I got this one, and then I got these two. Okay, so these were the ones that I got for the sale this year. See if does that read properly? I don't know if you see that. So these are a few that I got. I'll go over why I bought them, what I thought if I've seen them yet. Personal Shopper, directed by Oliver Assayas, starring Kristen Stewart. I had never seen this movie before. I had no idea what it was about. I just heard amazing things about Kristen Stewart in the movie. I love Kristen Stewart as an actress. A steel box of American Pie would go so hard. That goes so hard. I had never seen this movie. I love Kristen Stewart. I think she's an underrated actress. But I gotta say, this movie fucking sucks. $20 down the drain, boring as shit. 45 minutes into it, couldn't get into it. It's like a not possession, but like a supernatural type, like psychological thriller horror movie. And no bueno. Not very happy with this one. Maybe I'll try it again down the line, but meh, not good. Punch Drunk Love. Adam Sandler, Paul Thomas Anderson. I've heard amazing things about it. Never seen it. Watched it a couple nights ago. It's a very unconventional rom-com. It's about a real lonely guy played by Adam Sandler. This was his first serious movie that he ever did. It's basically he's a real lonely guy, ends up meeting this girl through his sister. They fall in love in a weird way. He ends up calling a phone sex hotline, almost gets his identity stolen, and his credit card information is stolen, and he gets beat up by a bunch of thugs that are part of this fraudulent sex phone line. And the whole thing is ran by oh my god, I'm losing his Philip Seymour Hoffman. So watching them interact is a lot of fun. Really great movie. If you can, I think it's streaming. So if you can stream this movie, really good. Check it out. It's like an hour and a half, very fun movie. 1953 War of the Worlds. I haven't seen this yet. I'm going to set some time aside soon to watch it. I've heard amazing things about it. The War of the Worlds by Spielberg with Tom Cruise is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. I really love that movie. And what made me want to get this one outside of the fucking kick-ass cover, I'll start doing that for every movie. Aside from that kick-ass cover, is it takes place during the Cold War. And apparently there's a lot of political tension in it, and I love politics, so looking forward to watching this. No Country for Old Men. I think this is the newest collection, or added addition to the collection from the Criterion Collection. Certified hood classic, fucking amazing movie. Rewatched it last night. Fucking Tommy Lee Jones, Woody Harrelson, Josh Brolin, Javier Bardem has a career-defining performance as Anton Chigurh. Crazy good movie. If you haven't seen this, what the fuck are you doing with your life? Phenomenal movie. Antichrist. Antichrist by Lars von Trier. Very controversial movie, very divisive movie, and it should be with a name like Antichrist. Starring Willem Dafoe, and I forget the other girl. Willem Dafoe and Charlotte Gainsbourg. Basically what happens, and look, first of all, watch this movie. It's very graphic, it's very unsettling, it's very disturbing psychologically, and there is one scene that is physically, I can't even watch it, it's so fucking hard to watch. Basically what happens is there's Willem Dafoe and his wife are married. They have a tragedy happen. Willem Dafoe is a therapist, and he goes, hey, we're going to go out to a cabin in the woods so you can decompress, you can get through this tragedy, I'm going to help you, and just evil things happen out there. It's a very twisted telling of the Garden of Eden. The characters don't even have names, just he and she. It's a very twisted telling on that. There are some religious overtones for sure, but it's less about religion, and it's more about man and nature, and when they're not in synchronicity, the imbalance and the borderline demonic things that can happen. I can't recommend this movie enough. It's really good. For my friends watching, this is the same guy that did House That Jack Built. Very, very good movie. Can't recommend this enough. And then Seven Samurai. I had to pick this up because I need this in my collection. I'm going to watch this eventually. This laid the groundwork for a ton of action adventure movies that we have today. The one that comes to mind is Zack Snyder's Justice League. He quoted this movie as the structure of which they would build that Justice League movie around. I'm very excited to watch this. I'll get to it eventually. And just again, the packaging's fucking awesome, and Comes out in this whole like fold out thing and has this really nice booklet where it's like essays about the movie. I love this shit, dude. I'm a fucking dork. I love this shit. And then I'm just go over some honorable mentions of movies that I've bought, and I haven't seen all these yet. I've seen most of them, but just some honorable mentions. And at the top of the list, Happiness. What a movie this is. Happiness. Directed by Todd Solondz. Basically about a lot of ordinary people that do fucked up things. And the cast is just stacked. Philip Seymour Hoffman's amazing. Jane Addams amazing. Dylan Baker. Most of you know him as the serial killer father from Trick or Treat. He's unsettling. I don't even want to go into like... I mean, I'll just read the back a little bit. So the cast embodies an array of loosely connected New Jersey deviants, depressives, misfits, among them a phone sex pest, an all-American dad concealing his pedophilic urges, and a lonely woman with a grisly secret, all who just want one thing, to be loved. You can't find this on a streaming service. You have to rent it off Amazon, I think, but it's not streaming anywhere because nobody wants to put this movie out for decent reasons. There's not anything like visibly graphic, but just the conversations and the plot. It's hell of a film. You should watch it. Pat Garrett, Billy the Kid. This is the director's version, classic Western. Definitely watch that. Beautiful movie. Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, great movie. This movie, Mirror by Andrei Tarkovsky, is called Mirror. I gotta be honest, man. I watched this movie and I didn't understand a lick of it. I had no idea what it's like. It's a Russian movie, and Tarkovsky's considered one of the greatest directors of all time. This is supposed to be one of the greatest movies of all time, and I understood none of it. I want to watch it again, but just I understood none of it. Oh yeah, this one, David Cronenberg's Crash. Great performance by James Spader. Basically, it's a bunch of people that get off on car crashes. I don't know if I recommend this. I gotta be honest. Weird watch. I don't even know if I can actually show like the cover for a long time. But just weird movie. Come and see. Haven't seen this yet, but it's a classic Russian movie about World War I. Look at that cover, dude. Like, come on. Funny Games. If you enjoy The Strangers, watch this movie. The original. German movie, home invasion movie gone horrifically wrong. Tense as shit. Anxiety filled. I mean, incredible fucking movie. Classic, Night of the Living Dead. Don't need to say much about that. I haven't seen this yet because I haven't gotten the stomach to watch it yet, but I've heard horrific things, so that's why I bought it on sale last year. Salo, or the 120 Days of Sodom. That's my Criterion Collection so far. I love collecting physical media. I know it's a dying breed. I know it's a niche thing, but I love holding this media in my hands. I love capturing. I really just believe this is a way to capture history, a beautiful way to capture art. Yeah, I love doing it. I love the Criterion Collection. I think it's amazing. They look gorgeous on a shelf. All right, that's been the podcast. Kava Bar this Saturday, Santa Fe. Come see it. If you're up in Santa Fe, come watch it. And then Denver next week on Thursday, Sushi High. Gonna be a lot of fun. Thank you guys for listening and watching, and we will see you next time. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the podcast. If you like what you've seen here, please share it with as many people as possible. Follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, Facebook, Apple Podcasts. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. It really does help out the podcast. And if you're feeling extra generous, feel free to subscribe to our Patreon, which I have coming soon.